You have to be careful who you put up on a panel on a day like this because it's very detrimental to a lot of people today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tense, isn't it? Heading into the holiday.
Yeah, the day before Thanksgiving, I'm actually at the store picking up a few last minute things. I'm picking
I
myself up
love it.
some din din.
I love it.
Hold on, I'm mute for a second because of all the background noise.
That's all good. I don't even know that I will stay long because of the holiday. Home tomorrow with the kids and everything, but
Oh, that's what's up.
I want to be consistent. So a long time ago, I said I will do this Wednesday nights at 9:00.
Yeah, you got to stay consistent or you'll fall off on that. Even if it's an hour, I'm still trying to find time so I can get ready for my news segments because I plan on doing 4 streams in a month or in a week of like the ground news late in the like evening so people can get the rundown without having to like do all the research.
Yeah, can I ask you, madam? I've seen a few people that are doing that, like even over on Instagram where I spend most of the time. There's a couple creators that I like that have not pivoted, but they have added like a daily or every other day. Here are the highlights of the news.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. But the thing is, the trick is if you're going to do that, you got to make sure you're being like, you have to be bipartisan in the news. You shouldn't be just picking one side and telling it, which my goal is I'm going to do lives to break down articles from both sides of the spectrum so that people have the choice to decide between that. So I'm not like trying to veer somebody in one direction or the other. That's my goal.
And then but it also takes a lot of commitment as far as like staying on top of everything that's going on.
I agree. It does take some commitment, but in all honesty, like the thing is, like I have my phone set up to give me the news articles for everything throughout the day. So what I do is I always just like write down the article name so I can go back for reference. And when I'm doing that, it makes it so I can go back because I have my own schedule because I run my own business. So I'm able to like balance between that and trying to do this. I just have been dealing with my house flooding from a pipe burst. Yeah, I had to shot back out 100 gallons of water last night. It was not fun.
That's brutal. Did you tell me what state you're in again?
Yeah, I'm in Mississippi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Not too far. I'm in the Tulsa area in Oklahoma.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, that's not too far.
I mean, this is not home for me, to be honest. I'm from Ohio originally.
Yeah.
Lived in Chicago for 20 years and then just moved here 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, but my dad moved us here in Mississippi. So this is like, I just call this my home because it's the longest I live, but I'm originally from Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm kind of glad I don't live there anymore, though. That place got crazy.
I love it. Well, I'm glad we connected on here. I got some questions for you. I don't know if you're up for it.
I'm always up for questions. I love answering stuff.
Not just more, I guess they're more personal in nature, just because I've gotten to know you a little bit on here.
Yeah, go for it. I never mind. Ooh, I forgot the baby wipes.
You prefer she and her, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay. Is that like morning, noon, and night, right? Not just when you are...
but my philosophy is also that I don't force my gender preference on people because I don't believe that that's fair to do that to people. So if it makes someone uncomfortable or they don't want to do that, so Jimmy, then I don't do that to people, if that makes sense. Because I have a strict belief in that.
Yeah, I hear you. And you are married?
Yep. 18 years. Actually, my 19th anniversary for us being together just passed November, but January 7th would make 18 years of marriage. Really? Which is a long time. That's basically the same time as a baby growing to be a full adult. That's crazy.
And
when I think
I know you got, that's crazy. I know you got 6 kids, right?
Yes, I do. 6 children.
I can't imagine.
It is a
I
handful,
can't
but I
imagine
don't
that.
mind it. I was built
And
for it.
yeah. Tell me about your, well, you don't have to tell me much about your spouse. You said you've been married 18 years. It'll be 18 years in January.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I heard a little bit about like your upbringing, your religious upbringing.
Yeah, my mom couldn't decide on a religion for us. We did everything from like all the Christian ones. So we were Baptist for a while, then we were it was like four denominations of Christianity. And then I can't think of the name of it. Is it Presbyterian or something? I can't think of it.
Yeah.
It's the one where women can't wear like jeans. They have to wear skirts and stuff. My mom put us through that too. And then she put us through, like, she literally put us through the ringer on religion. I'm not even kidding when I tell you that. We were all over the place. So it kind of pushed me away from religion because of her views of trying to force it so much on me.
Yeah. It's interesting that she was so forceful, but also so undecided.
I
Like I don't
agree.
like to go from denomination to denomination, but also be like have that conviction. Like I need to
I
instill this
agree.
in my children.
Yeah, she literally named me after two names in the Bible. So she's always been religious. She doesn't know where her religious radar lands, I guess, the spectrum.
Yeah. Is she still bouncing around?
No, she landed on Christianity, just straight up Christianity now.
Like
Is what she
non-denominational?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. She just landed on that. She reads the Bible and everything. She doesn't go to a church though, but she like reads the Bible at home and all that fun stuff.
It's interesting. She's out on church.
Yep. Fun fact is I
So,
still read a Bible even though I don't believe everything, but I do read for educational purposes.
um, with your with your future plans, do you think you'll do lives or you think you'll just do videos?
No, I'm planning on doing lives. I was doing it for a while, and then things got complicated because I pick up a lot of work on my work schedule. So it set me back, but I'm trying to get back to doing it because I mainly just have been on panels for now, so I can kind of stay in the loop on things. But yeah,
Yeah.
I plan on actually doing lives probably after the holidays. I'm gonna start doing them at least four times a week around like 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try not to like go into like where my friends go. So if they're on, I'm not gonna take away from them because I would never do that. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I wondered about that tonight. Like I said, I've been doing every Wednesday at 9, kind of on the dot.
Yeah, I've noticed that you stuck to it. I'll give you that.
But I was listening to Laura's, and then I wondered because I've connected with her on here. Is that like poor form to do this when she's doing it?
Yeah, but
I
sometimes
don't
you
know.
have to. It's one of those days where it's like a hot topic day, so it's gonna get hectic and be busy anyways. So it's like no matter what, there's no way around it. Panels are gonna be full. The Zionists are gonna be out. Like it's gonna be a crazy day today. Plus, it's the day before the holiday, so a lot of people who stay to it are gonna stay on their schedule for it. So because they still like the habitual people stay
Hmm.
online.
So that's what happens. I remember back in September when on that crazy day, everyone was hosting, and the numbers were way up
Yeah, they were through the freaking roof. Literally through the
when there's a
roof.
big day like that.
Yep. And the thing is, that's how new panelists, like people who normally panel, they don't always stay paneled. When they gain popularity, I've noticed the pattern is that once they gain enough people who like panel them, they usually start doing it on their own. Like Milk used to only, for instance, he used to only panel up on stuff. Now he runs his own panels because he's had the experience and time and he's gained a following of people who listen to him. So I respect him for that. That's not an easy thing to do. Everybody doesn't have the niche for it.
Yeah, yeah. I get that, but you've done them before, huh?
Yeah, I used to host a lot back in the day. Um, I had an agent and everything, and then I fell off because I got busy with like life because I had a 1 year old that was taking up all my time and
Yeah, that'll do
energy.
it.
Yep. So I had to kind of slow down. Like I would just panel like once a day and stuff like that. And this was back when I only had like 1,200 followers. Now I have like triple the amount of followers almost. So
Yeah, good.
if I stay offline, people are always reaching out to me like, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything okay?" Or they're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
you're inspirational." Like I get messages like that all the time because I'm one of the most middle ground people on this app. Like
yeah.
I'm literally in the middle. People see that when they talk to me. Even the people most people have issues with are cool with me and message me and stuff.
Mm. I would take pride in that if I were you.
I do. I try not to let it go to my head because I don't like to be the type that does that. I try to stay humble all the time. But I
Yeah,
am human. At times, even I can let things go to my head.
yeah. Do you remember back in September when that event occurred and the the president said this was a radical leftist something or other
Yes, I do.
before we even had any information at all.
Yep, and that's why I wanted to get on panels and bring that point up today and try to like middle ground that to
Yeah,
get people to listen on that because I was getting scared. And of course, as soon as I got on my first panel today, I saw it happen immediately. It's going to get dangerous. Like these people are going to get targeted by association just because of how they look.
yeah,
And I'm scared for them because I remember when that event happened in September for my people being in the community I'm in, what happened to me was dangerous. I had people trying to find out where I live. I stopped wearing my makeup when I went out in public because I was scared people were going to try to harm me because of the red state I live in. Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, that's why it's detrimental to make sure information is controlled a certain way and the narrative doesn't shift too much from the truth.
yeah. But I wonder if it's like once that cat is out of the bag, there's no putting it back in. You know what I mean?
There
Like once.
really isn't because the people who already have the fear, they're not going to be able to just hide it. Like all the stuff, say they don't have, like somebody on a panel, for instance, earlier, guys that they had a Lebanese friend, but then went on to bring up the events of September from almost 2 decades ago, and then it was like, see what's going on here. It got crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, people are
So
human. That's the thing, though. I understand it. Fear is weaponized, so you have to be careful with it.
yeah, and it's a powerful motivator. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Hmm. Savage. What's up, Savage? Tired this week. Been a long week. I watched Tapley. I don't know if you got to see Tapley's interview the other day. It was fantastic. Hmm. I hope I don't start now, it says. Hmm. We'll talk about grief for a second while you're driving, madam. I think most people already know that I work as a hospice chaplain. We started this page a year ago, on the day my mom passed, and I've been spending more time on TikTok now, and I mentioned this last week because on Instagram I was planning to do the entire project on Instagram, and when I practiced in December, I had no problem going live on Instagram, but somewhere between December and now they changed the rules where you have to have 1,000 followers in order to go live. I didn't know that would be the case. So that's what brought me onto TikTok, was to go live. But there are people on Instagram who are not on TikTok who have been a part of this project from the beginning. I'm talking to the Susans and the Nancys, Teresa. There's a handful of people that have been part of this since its origin or shortly thereafter. And so I've missed the connection with them a little bit. We're still reading and doing our thing together, but
that's what's up.
yeah, I wanted to thank them. Maybe I'll clip this out. So to the people who are on Instagram who have been supportive from the beginning, I'm grateful. This whole project has been, there's a purpose for it that I think I've mentioned. I think will make more sense in time as this goes on. I think the purpose of this church, or this church, will make more sense as time goes on. I think. I could be wrong about that, but I think. But the people that have been part of it and encouraging and supportive from the beginning, I am more grateful for those people than I could possibly tell them. So I want it.
Came from the reconsider thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a long backstory, but in my job as a chaplain, as a hospice chaplain, we get new patients kind of all the time, and we have patients that pass all the time. It's kind of the nature of the job. And so when I did this in Chicago, when I did my initial assessment, there was a line on my initial assessment that said religion. And if they shared it, or if it came up organically in conversation, I would write it down. Or type it in on the iPad. But it was not mandatory. Like if it didn't come up or I didn't get their religion in my initial visit, I could just skip that and go to the next page. When I moved to Oklahoma 4 years ago, November of 21, I started with a new company, obviously, doing the same job, also hospice chaplaincy. And on their initial assessment form, it has the religion line, but it's highlighted blue, which means I have to put something on that line in order to go to the next screen, which I don't like at all, because it sort of forces me to ask a question that I would rather not ask unless it came up organically. And 6 or 7 out of 10 times it comes up organically, because they're like, "Oh, you're the chaplain? Oh, we go to this church," or in another part of the conversation, they'll talk about someone else in their life that passed, and they had the service at this Catholic church because that's where their family all goes and they're all members. And so I just know that they're Catholic. I make a mental note and put in the chart that they're Catholic because they brought it up organically. But if I have an hour and a half visit and it doesn't come up, I have to ask, "What's your religion?" Which I don't like. I don't like being forced to ask if it doesn't come up organically. But maybe it's been good, because a lot of people will say, "Well, I'm Baptist and I'm plugged into this church and I've been going every Sunday for all my life." Other people will say, I used to be Lutheran, or I used to be Pentecostal or Presbyterian or whatever, but I stopped going." And then my response was, "What made you stop going?" And I've asked this question for 3 years, over 3 years, as part of my initial assessment. And again, 6 or 7, you kind of are too, but I am in the heart of the Bible Belt. So most people in my area, most new patients that I get are under the umbrella of Christianity. Now, they may be in different denominations, but where I am now is not a very culturally or religiously diverse part of the country. Remember, the first 11 years I did this job was in the Chicagoland area. So I had patients from every kind of cultural and religious background you can imagine, which was amazing because I learned a lot. But here it's just for the most part. We have some diversity, I guess you could say, religiously, but not a ton. It's probably 95% of the patients that I see are under the umbrella of Christianity, whether it's Baptist or Catholic or Lutheran or you name it. But I have to ask this question, and the stories, the feedback that I've gotten has been very insightful. So I'll talk to somebody just a week or two ago that grew up in, I think, the Lutheran church and hasn't gone in 35 years. And my follow-up question is, what made you leave? But I kind of kept track of the reasons that people gave for why they left church. And they were like all over the board. That's why I asked you, like, just curious what your upbringing was, or, it sounds like maybe when you got to 16 or 18 or whatever age and you were like, this is not for me, Mom. Like, I know this is important and you're really trying to get this in me, but I'm not interested. And that's why I asked that story, because I'm fascinated by people's stories, because I've been listening for 3 years. But as I listened, I kind of literally wrote down the responses that people gave. And then after doing this enough times, you get people that give the same response multiple times. Like, I left because of this, I left because of this, I left because of this. And you kind of hear it over and over again. And so I compiled all the reasons that people gave, and I ordered them by the amount of times I heard that number, that reason. So, for example, number 8 or 9 or 10 on the list was the pandemic. Are we allowed to say that?
Well, I mean, TikTok.
Maybe.
I've said it and haven't gotten flagged for it, but I mean, the algorithm's different for everybody.
You can say anything you want, brother.
Hey, BK.
Well,
Well, there's
that's
some
yeah.
things.
want a burger.
You don't like BK?
No, I do. I said I want a burger now because of your name.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's BK like the burger. Unfortunately, it's just my initials, but it's a common misconception. Happens a lot.
Thanks for joining, BK. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm thankful.
Ready for-
In advance of Thanksgiving, I'm being a little thankful a little early.
I like it.
Yep. Any small chance you get, why not take it?
Yeah.
You're right.
I also, to take it one step further, think that especially when you have like a little bit of a down day, taking the time to be thankful for the things that you really appreciate are extra important. So that's what I'm here for today.
I love it. Was today a down day, or are you just talking about current events?
Well, I lost my grandfather last week, which sucked. And it was
Sorry.
Thank you. Like, he was 92 and lived probably I don't know if you could live a more ideal life as a man. Like, myself, like what I envisioned for myself, if I could live the life that he got to live, it was like, God, job well done. He had
Well done.
a beautiful family, everything. So it's been great to celebrate and to see how many people are celebrating like his life. But at the same time, it's just, it makes you extra thankful when you lose something sometimes.
Yeah. It sounds like you were close to him, huh?
The whole family was. Like, he was I've been fortunate to live in a family that are super loving and super close. Like all of my holidays, Thanksgiving, which we're going to go to, even if the funeral wasn't, the past weekend, we would have probably like 30 to 40 first, second, aunt, uncle, cousins just who live in the area, and we're there all the time. And they're there for like growing up basketball games, like rec games, just a family that were like where love leads the way, and it's very rare, and I don't see it often. But my grandfather was just like filled with love, and it led on to my father, and it led on to the rest of the family, and it's a rarity.
That's awesome. It is a rarity. He sounds like an amazing guy. What was his name?
Donnie.
92, huh?
Yeah.
What about your grandma? Is she still with us or no?
Oh yeah, she's 90, and her mom lived to 101, so her goal is definitely to beat that, and she's like literally perfect. So honestly, that was the hardest thing. It was like thinking about my grandmother who had been married to this guy for 70 years.
70. That's incredible.
They had their 70-year anniversary like a couple months ago. So I couldn't even imagine going 70 years, literally being side by side to someone your entire life, and then the next day waking up to an empty house.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Are they in their own, like a single family home, like an independent?
Oh, yeah, they were still. So my grandfather wasn't really sick. He just kind of, the last year of his life wasn't eating as much, and like slowly just started to lose a lot of weight, and like wasn't moving around. And they're not really sure. I think he kind of had a stroke, but he kind of just went to sleep and didn't wake up.
Wow.
Yeah, right next, looking at right with my grandmother in their single family home. They never needed to have a nursing aid. He never went to hospice. He never went to anything.
Really?
Which is kind of fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it really is
awesome.
So, I work as a hospice chaplain. I don't know if you caught that part of the.
No, I totally missed that. But go figure.
Yeah, that's. I'm glad you came in. That is awesome. I'm glad you can see that, because I don't mean that to take away from the.
No,
the sadness of the loss, but that's
holy shit! What this guy they had a beautiful ceremony, and we're Jewish. Hope no one gets triggered on here, but the rabbi said this man fulfilled his life goals. He did what he set out to do, and God, if I can do that, I will be very, very, very fulfilled.
Yeah.
And he did. He did. So, check. Job
when
well
you
done.
say, yeah, when you talk about your admiration for him, or you talk about the amazing life that he led.
Yep.
To what extent is that career-wise or professionally or monetarily?
0%.
That's what I figured. I just wanted to clarify that. I gathered that from the way you talked about everything that when you say you admire his life, it's about character, not about
100%.
Not about success as some would define success.
Totally agree.
He just lived what was it about? You said he was just incredibly loving, huh?
Yes, all he did was give love. That I don't know how else to say it, but his affection toward not only people outside of his family, but his family in particular was just immense. Mm-hmm. And the first thing he wanted you to do, oh God, this may make me cry to say, but he never, when he said goodbye to you, one of my cousins said this in their speech. He said he did not say I love you goodbye. He said I adore you. And he always he did. And you felt it. Ugh.
That's
and
so
such
good.
A lucky thing.
Yeah.
So it sucks to lose
Was it
those
the?
people.
Yeah, it
What were
does.
you
It makes
saying?
the world. It makes the world feel like it's just like some small percentage not as
That's
loving,
good. Yeah.
not as
That's
good.
my fear, to be honest.
Yeah.
And burden, I feel.
Was it mostly what he said that made you admire how loving he was? Like that I adore you, or the hugs, or just the fact that he was always excited to see you, always present at your rec games, or
That. So
all of it?
literally the crazy. So I mean, like the sports aspect is huge. He literally no. I don't know what the like word is for like whatever. They have in the high school gym where my entire family grew up. And bear in mind, they moved to this neighborhood outside of Westchester. I mean, outside of New York City in Westchester, like when it was started. So when my dad went through the school district, they didn't have a high school. So they were literally the first people there. The high school that was there had seen probably 20 of my family members go through. And my grandfather was given a spot on the bleachers with a name and a plaque because he like
That's
the
awesome. So
school
it just
he just
there
was
every
there
time.
every freaking
Yeah.
time, and it was just like, dude, this
It's
guy's
just like
there.
that's his spot. That's awesome.
And this season, my cousin who gave the speech, she's a senior. She's going D1. She's awesome at basketball, and my grandfather like was the best athlete. He taught all of us. He gave us all like the athletics, and he was there, and like, oh, it just it goes on and on and on because I've had so many people reach out, just friends of mine that were like, yo, you're like, I miss like your grandfather was at every single one of our soccer games, every single one of our basketball games. Like he always used to go up and say like, great shot, good job, like nonstop, just out of love. It's cool. I don't know. It's such a high standard.
Yeah. And he was encouraging, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes, of course. Like he
Like you're doing awesome and I'm so proud of you and all that all the time.
one of the things I loved, nothing seemed to rattle him. Like he would say some pretty outlandish shit sometimes, but like nothing like rattled him. He kind of was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And he had just a sense of like calm when he talked to other people because he just, when people got aggressive, he was like, he could just, completely, what is it? Disarm them.
Yeah. De-escalate or whatever. Yeah,
But just disarm them either from like a joke or just like being right or just not taking it too seriously or just literally having to step up and show some authority when someone is being wrong. It just perfectly timed stepping up in the right situation, I think.
Yeah. Boy, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's no, I mean, even with an awesome life, but you're right. Like if you could ask 100 people, what would the end look like for you? If you could choose, which we can't, I think 96, 97, 98 of 100 people would be like, let me live a good, relatively independent life into my 80s or 90s. Let me lay down like I have for every night for 70 years next to someone that I love and
which,
just
by the way,
go to sleep.
He swung way out of his league, and my grandmother loved to remind him of that every day.
I love it.
He apparently went on this date with like the heir of like this one random old school company back in the day, and she's like, I could have gone out with like whatever
Anybody.
this old school,
Yeah. Donnie, do you have any idea how lucky you are? I'm going to remind everybody of that.
They did. It was so funny.
I love it.
That sounds a lot of how like I live, so I hope I get to live a life like that. Because a lot of what you said reminds me of how I am. So I hope I get to
to like
experience that.
120 to get that 70 years at this point.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, me too. I got married at 35, so I'm doing the math. I'm like, that doesn't look good.
I've been married since I was 20. So.
Literally?
Or hold on, 19. Sorry, 19. Yeah, seriously.
they had the quintessential perfect, like, old school story. They met each other. His friend was her date at junior prom, and he basically saw that his friend was not having any success with the girl that he thought was cuter than his date. So
Mhm.
he like went up and started talking to my grandmother and literally like stole his best friend's date because she was prettier than his date. But then they became inseparable. And best story, I'll leave it at this ultimate legend story. My grandmother went off to college. She went to Indiana, and my grandfather played football at Cornell, so he went to Cornell. So they weren't close. It was hard to like feasibly date. And as my grandmother famously says, she was crying saying goodbye to my grandfather, but then as she got into a plane, some cute tall guy helped her put her bag up, and she forgot about him the second she got on. So
Forgot about your grandpa?
yeah, so she goes
That's
away to
hilarious.
college, and she's like out there, and she starts like dating people, blah blah blah, and he like essentially flies out of nowhere and meets her, and like she's about to go on a date, and she calls up the date and is like, "Hey, sorry, I can't make it." He's like, "Oh, why?" He's like, "Oh, I got proposed to," and he was just like, proposed to my grandmother because he decided, I guess, he loved her at some point. I was like, "Hey, I don't care that you're dating someone. I cancel the date. I'm proposing." She's like, "Okay, yeah, done."
Yeah, that's some notebook type stuff. That's awesome.
That's savage. That's like
Yeah.
savage. Like she literally called up the date and was like, "Hey, yeah, I was like perfectly single an hour ago, but I'm now engaged. Sorry, buddy."
Yeah, so you can't do the dinner because I just got engaged. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's awesome.
Fucking awesome.
What's your grandma like?
Oh,
Just as high, just as elevated in your mind as he is?
times 10.
Really?
Yeah, that's the hard part. Like that I can't even think about that. I can't think about that. Like that. Jeez. She is just like the entire family. She is
Yeah.
the glue. Like and she was most of the mouthpiece when they were around, which like he was okay with. She just came in with the best stories, and every time he spoke, it was like, "This is gold. I will remember
Yeah.
this." So I don't know. She's incredibly strong. It also sucks because she lost her father early in front of her, and then she also lost her husband. And my father passed away as a couple years back, and now she's literally had to witness her
Who
father.
did?
My father.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Her son. So she literally lost like her
Oh,
father early, her husband now, her first son, her brother. It's like, damn. And she's still fully, I definitely think she's living for another 10 years. So it's like, she's gone through a lot of grief.
yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine that. So this is your dad that passed?
No, my dad passed like 10 years ago now. Damn. But
Yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't realize you had lost your dad as well.
oh yeah, well, that's
Dang,
like,
dude. And, yeah.
one issue at a time,
Yeah, no kidding. But you don't sound. Can I ask how old you are, or just ballpark?
I'm 31.
Yeah. Yeah, that's young to lose your dad.
Yep.
21. Yeah.
Sometimes I've had to wrestle with that a little bit because like it's hard for me to, I wish I got my dad to 92.
Yeah.
And then I stop and just think about the fact that like objectively the life lessons and love that I was given in the first 21 years is probably more than most people ever get or are lucky enough to experience. So I can be nothing but grateful.
What an incredible way to frame that. Like I have a lot of respect, a lot of admiration for how you choose to see that, to be grateful for the 21 years, because it is like human nature or the pity part of ourselves to feel like we got robbed. I mean, my mom was 74. And she had just turned 75. She was 75 when she passed, and I felt like, man, I would have loved to have her for 10 for 15 or 20 more years. And so my mind goes there just naturally, like, man, we got robbed, because I got married a little later in life and I have younger kids. And my mom was the type of person that I think your grandpa and grandma have been in your life. That's how she was for me, like just an incredible source of encouragement and love and kindness. And so I started this page the day that she passed, but I, even knowing like it's okay, and we got to be here and give her as good a finish as we possibly could.
Yep.
But it does cross my mind when I look at my 5-year-old daughter. I'm kind of like, hey, princess. I look at my 5-year-old daughter and I'm like, I wish my mom had been here 10 more years to have that impact on my daughter from age 5 to 15.
Oh, that
makes sense.
That is a huge aspect to why I don't think I'm married at this point. Because like to me, marriage is then we're starting a family, and that means then like the impact of what, like, if I'm gone early on my kids and my family's lives is like, well, how do I make sure I've learned those lessons by then, so that, well, honestly, I don't even know if I need to, thinking about it, because my dad didn't know those lessons, and I still think he raised people who loved him and turned out okay. So maybe it's just honestly about loving your kids and not being perfect, but just loving your kids.
Yeah. That's what you remember, isn't it, from the generations above you?
Oh, that's it.
That's why I was asking, like, to try to pinpoint down for you and for me, what made them feel so loving. Like when you talk about the way your grandpa and your grandma.
Oh, I'll give you a perfect example for my dad. That's super
siblings
small, right?
or cousins.
My dad every day before dropping me off at school would do like the hand motion, I love you, right? Where you point to your eye, your heart, and then look at you. Mm-hmm. And then he used to add like a V and an M. It sounds so fucking cringy, but I was a little kid. And he used to like literally like every day.
A V and an M?
No, not with the two hands, bro. No, like two fingers up and then three fingers down, bro, like a gang sign.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I would go me too, which is 3 fingers down and then 2 fingers up.
Perfect.
But literally, we didn't have to say anything. He'd just literally go like, "I love you" with the symbol, and I'd be like, "Fuck, like yeah." My father like absolutely loves me, because this is like he's vocalizing it, but he's also showed it a million times in just like actions as well. But to like vocalize it also is like, okay, that's I feel like I'm invincible.
Yeah, that's awesome. He started doing that when you were like 5, and he just kept doing it even as you.
Yeah, my father crafted me to like look up to people like Rocky, John Wooden, and like always fight for underdog people. And just, I almost thought it was just a guarantee my entire life that I would have to go through challenges, because that's what people who wanted to like achieve great things, not monetarily, but great because they are morally good, but also hard and take effort and stick-to-itiveness when people stop. They have to go through that. And if I was never like tested on it, then I would never be able to do any of the things I actually want to do.
So can I want to ask, it's just the two of us. Hey, Ryan. So
how are you?
I'm okay. I've got some things going on, but I'm okay. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
The same answer as yours, but
okay.
We'll talk as we go.
Okay.
If you
you know me, Ryan. I have no secrets. But I've always wondered this, because I had a friend. She was my best friend, actually. And we met in the 7th grade, and we were friends all the way up until about 10 years ago. And at that point, I still don't have any closure or any answer as to why we're not friends anymore. She just decided we weren't. But I used to spend so much time at her house coming up, right? Um, and her parents were like you guys are talking about the way your parents were. My mother was not. And I just wonder what the difference is or why the difference is. And because to me, if you have children, that's your main job is to love them and raise them into good, productive adults, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I say this all the time that a cat makes a better mother than my mother. Um, and I'm just
That's
wondering what the
that
difference
sucks.
is.
So I think I can speak to that a little bit. When I say the like love language style from my dad's side to my mom's side is like cut from a different cloth, you're right. Right? My mom's side of the family lives polar opposite like parts of the country. My aunt, my first aunt, my mom doesn't talk to. It's her sister. I don't know why. I don't really get into that. I don't like really know that there's any ever like any real issue, but I think they just came from a very different background in a poor
Mm.
part of Florida without parents with college degrees, and they kind of just thought more about it like their family as like I kind of want to get away than like I want to build and be part of.
Mm.
So I
Did your
think that was a
grandpa
grain of
did,
salt.
did your grandpa immigrate here? Or was he born here
No, both sides were born here, but
in Florida? Or
no. So my dad's side, my grandfather was born in Brooklyn, and then my grandmother was born in some other part of
Dude,
New York.
you need to stop it because that's where my grandparents were from.
Yeah.
That's where my mother grew up, and then we moved to Florida when I was 6,
No, so my
and I
dad's
grew up
side's
here
lived
in
in New York
Florida.
forever, and I've lived in New York for 30 years, and I just moved to Connecticut last year. So I was a 30-year
Okay.
New Yorker, lifelong.
I was in New York this last weekend. I'm in Oklahoma now is where I live. But
Well, the city is nice for a little bit, but
yeah, it was great. My cousin's out on Long Island in Huntington. So
that's a nice place. Like Huntington, like Long Island, similar to Westchester, which is where I grew up. It's like I was 40 minutes from the city. So as a kid, like we always just took a short train, hopped in, and then everybody I knew growing
downtown.
up worked in the city, and then we'll probably buy homes right outside of it. So it's like it's a nice place.
Yeah, we had a
So,
lot of fun. I took my 7-year old and he got to do all the stuff, see all the kind of the main
oh,
touristy
that's
type of
cool.
attractions. Yeah, it was a fun
That's
weekend.
cool.
My cousin, I take each kid out when they turn 7. That was my cousin's
That's
idea.
awesome.
Okay.
So last summer, I took my now 8-year old, and then this year was the middle one, and then I got to wait a year and a half, and then I'll take my daughter when she turns 7. We'll go out and visit New York City. But
My
you're
grandparents used to do that when
uh,
the grandkids turned 10, and then they got too old where the parents were like, nah, you're like, we're not letting you unsupervised with our young kids.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh Jesus, we call 'em. I got to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania with my grandparents on a trip. It was really cool. Watch Jaws in the
And
hotel
your
room.
younger cousins didn't get to
No, they
to have
didn't.
that experience because they were already too old. Like they were like,
They weren't, but
Dad,
the family put
I
a
don't trust this
lockdown on the
plan.
driving too far as old people, so it
Yeah,
limited it a little bit.
yeah. That's
Reasonable.
understandable. The memories that you have of like holidays and Thanksgivings and all that stuff, is that
Which one?
typically at your grandparent? Well, when you said that like you get 30, 40 people together for
No, I
a
know. I'm
meal and
saying
just
which memory you want to talk about from which Thanksgiving.
no, I'm just curious if if all of those kind of
No,
core
I'm
memories
saying
are
that
at
right. As it's not like one thing.
yeah.
It's like a combination of a bunch of like just always being together.
But was it usually at their house or was it at different places each time?
It used to be when I was like a really little kid at my house, and then it went to my uncle's house because it was the biggest.
Gotcha. I was just trying to get an idea of how many memories you have at your grandparents' house. If that,
Well, my grandparents bought
or
a
if that was
house
not
and they
really.
raised their entire family in it and lived in it until they were well into their 80s. So literally the house that I would say my first memory of that house is going trick or treating there. Because we would always go as like that was our first stop on the loop. They lived in a great neighborhood for trick or treating, and they always used to dress up, and we would go like say hi to our grandparents first, and then make the loop around the neighborhood.
I love it.
Their house wasn't like their house was more the front lawn where they just like used to play sports and stuff outside. The inside wasn't really about like living in it. It wasn't anything really special. It was more the neighborhood and like I don't know.
Yeah.
They had one drawer in their kitchen with just a bunch of toys. As like a really little kid, that was fun.
Yeah, it's like the dentist office feel
it
to
was
it.
exactly like the dentist office.
Yeah, go pick out what you want.
Yes, exactly
I love
like
it.
that. And I got this stuffed animal, Mukaru, I called them. Actually, no, it was
That's awesome.
macaroni. It was macaroni. God, Mukaru.
Mine was Jimbo.
Yeah, I don't know where. I
just,
still have him in a bin somewhere in like some basement, but.
I lost Jimbo on my last. I had this little stuffed monkey that my grandmother gave me, and I had it. I had made it for 35 years, but when we moved down here, I don't know what happened to it.
Oh man, Cuddles, Monk Bunk, and Macaroni. Those were my only three as a little kid, and they used to get stuck in between my bed and the frame so often. I would get scared that I lost them, and they were just without fail stuck in between the bed and the frame. They just slide down the edge, and like, nope.
What a blessing! What a blessing to have to come from that legacy. It feels like a legacy to me. Like even in the grief of
because I'm just filled with love, and I just give love. It's like people are like, "No, be hard, be mean." It's like, no.
Yeah, don't lose that. I think that's starting to become like the most.
Me, though.
What is?
The world is testing me.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I want to address Streak's point, but I can relate to the that feeling of like losing like someone that has such that you have so much admiration for as far as their character.
He's my best friend.
Yeah, but do you feel like a sense, maybe not yet because it's still so fresh for you, where it feels like almost like not a responsibility, but just like you're taking the torch, right? And you want to kind of try to live a life like
my favorite thing every day is putting on my dad's watch. It basically makes me feel like I have a superpower.
Yeah,
I put it on, and it's like now I get the wisdom and the and like his guidance watching me every day.
Yeah,
it's like it's awesome. So
you're gonna continue to make them proud. I'm sure. Maybe, both your dad and your grandpa. How's your grandma? Or is that too impossible to answer? How is she doing? I mean, that sounds like a foolish question because I'm sure she's.
I think she's
devastated.
I think she's in like whether she knows it or not, in like like the family has put her in like a protection plan where there are like steps that they're gonna follow to make sure that she's like pretty much not feeling alone or overwhelmed. And I don't know if I think that's a good thing, because it's just kind of like forcing there to never be like a period of aloneness, it seems like. Which I get, but I don't know. Is
she staying in that house?
Yeah, but my aunt has been staying there for the time being, and I think it's going to stay there for a while.
Yeah, you got such a good support system that she'll.
Well, yeah.
It's just hard to imagine. Like you said, 70 years is incredible. Streak, No, that's all right.
I've been dominating the conversation, so
Streak,
I
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
interrupt.
No, not at all. It's typically like this. We've had a couple interesting Wednesday nights, but we do this every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. And I've loved connecting with you, BK. And thanks for sharing some of
I'll
this.
let you connect with someone else. I apologize. I'll be back sometime.
No. That's not what I meant. I hope you stick around because I don't want to speak for you, but to Streak's point, like I don't know what to make of the blessing that I got of having two very present, very loving, very encouraging parents. Like I didn't have any choice in the matter, right? I was born into this to have parents who were amazing, and a dad who still is amazing. And it sounds like BK has like had that blessing as well, or privilege, or whatever you want to call it, and you didn't. And I know you didn't. You were like, why did I get a mom who a cat would have done a better job? And I don't know the
I
answer to
didn't
that.
realize that about her until I was an adult, right? When I was a kid, as not present as she was, I remember my entire childhood just trying to do anything and everything I could to gain her acceptance and just get her to love me.
Mm-hmm.
And she never did.
Did you like? Do you think she was willing? Like, did she have the ability to give love to anybody?
So I have a brother and a sister, one older and one younger. And again, looking back on it as an adult, I knew it as a child, but as a child, you don't really know what the words to place on things. You know what I mean? Um, but growing up, my brother was the baby, so he was special, and my sister was the oldest, so she was
Oh, you
special.
got middle. I'm a middle child too.
And I was just absolutely nothing. Just absolutely nothing. I was always the one that it was my fault that any fight happened. Um, it was, listen, I remember there were times that my brother and sister would gang up and beat the ever loving shit out of me. And I would go and tell my mom, and my mom would say, "What did you do to make them mad?" The same thing that the police officer said to me when I lived in this little tiny town outside of Lakeland. Um, not the exact words, but the same sentiment when my husband beat the crap out of me. Like, what did you do? And I just always, and then as an adult, I still tried with her. You know what I mean? I just wanted her, like, I didn't understand why she just didn't love me. I still don't understand it. And I remember the the moment that I looked at her and I went, wow, you really are not a good person, right? This was 19 years ago, and we were flying to New York for a family reunion. And we had my grandson who was 5 months old, and my daughter, and me and my mom. And we were on a layover. We had plenty, and I mean plenty of time to get to our next flight. And we were walking quickly from this plane to where the other plane was. And this older woman tripped and fell, like face first on the floor. And I stopped to help her. And my mother said, "Leave her there. Someone else will help her. We have to go." And I said, "No, Mom, I'm going to help her." My mother grabbed me by the arm and drugged me. And I was like, that was the moment that I realized that she just really was not a good person.
Can you
Did she
forgive
seem
her?
like a? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So can you forgive her at all for that?
No, I've tried. Like I've tried. I think the last time I spoke to her was about no. Okay, so the last time I spoke to her was right after um, the Biden Trump election, and I'm not even sure why she asked me who I voted for, and I told her that I voted for Biden, and she said, "Are you kidding me? I thought I raised you to be smart. I didn't think you would ever be so stupid to vote for somebody like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go. Like, I gotta be done at this point because the
That's
beat
a good.
down is
That's a
just
good
all
call.
that it's ever about. It's just the beat down." And I was
And she
just done
didn't.
at that point.
Do you think your brother and your sister felt loved by her?
I know that my sister does, because my sister is a mini me of my mom, and I know that my brother did. My brother's not with us anymore,
Sorry.
um, but when he was here, my mom was like all about my brother, and he lives in the same town that or lived in the same town that I do. And my mom lives about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from us. And she used to come over here and go and see my brother and not even call me until she was on her way home.
That's hard.
And I was like,
Do you think it's still?
you were here and you didn't even like you didn't come and see me. You didn't like there what?"
Do you
So
think it's
yeah,
still?
it's
Do you think it still makes you angry?
oh, very much so. Very much so. But I will tell you this, Ryan. The one thing that I learned from my mother is how not to be a mother and how not to be a grandmother.
Oh
When
man, come
I would,
on.
no. Do you think I'm playing? I would never, ever, not in a million years,
Because you
ever
did, but
treat
you
my children or my
good. So you did
grandchildren
learn
the
it. You
way
mean?
my mother has treated me
Yeah.
and
Good.
my
Okay. Thank
grandchildren.
you. So you did
Never.
learn. So you did learn it.
So what?
So you did learn it. You did learn, yes, like to
That's what
not
I'm
do that.
saying. She taught me how not to be that kind of mother.
Isn't that
That's a better
crazy
way
though?
to
Like
put it.
it's almost like we got the same lesson, BK and myself and you. Just they're just the antithesis of each other, which is so bizarre. Like we
Yeah.
got examples of how to do it, all the
It's
way
not
on
what you
the
say, it's how you say it, guys.
yeah, like all the way on the extreme end of like here is as good an example as anyone born is going to get. BK's
Hmm.
family, my family, like this select, however, whatever the percentage that like can say of their parents and their grandparents, like I I revere them. Like I want to emulate their life so much because of the way that they live. Like that's such a gift. And you got the same lesson, but on the polar opposite side. Like here
Right.
is everything you shouldn't
Not to
do.
do.
I don't know
Yeah.
Yeah,
about you, but those hard lessons tend to stick a little bit more than the fun ones, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. It's true.
I honestly believe that now I always wanted to be a mother ever since, I mean, my earliest memories, I've always wanted to be a mom. And so that was the main reason. But I also think that one of the reasons that I had my son as young as I did was because he was her first grandson, right? And I just thought that if I could do that, like that was something special.
To be
And
honest, you sound like you are a thoughtful, introspective, smart, well thought out individual. And your mom, your mom was the person that gave birth to you. So
yeah,
for
yeah.
all her mess ups, like she still created, like for all intents and purposes, a seemingly great person.
I'm not sure that she had
Yeah,
anything to do with it.
that's the that's what it seems so strange. It's like she taught you how to be a mom by not by being a poor example.
What if she
If that makes any
couldn't
sense.
be?
Like
What if she?
here's how not to do it.
Yeah.
Like here's
Yeah,
how not to do it, and you're like, okay, then I'm going to try to live in the opposite of that. But it doesn't mean like
yeah.
I understand you're not like, well, I'm going to then turn around and give credit to the person that was awful to me or showed
It's
me
not
no
about
love.
necessarily credit, right? And that's the right word because that's how it feels. I'm not gonna say that like you taught me good skills when you showed me bad skills.
Right.
However, I hope when like my kids look back on me one day that they don't go through the whole list of things that I fucked up on because I'm sure it'll be a
Mhm,
lot. They
mhm,
focus on the main things is that I love them and I tried and I did what I thought was right at the time
mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. So
Listen, both of my daughters absolutely adore me, and my grandchildren. I have a 19-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, a
then
five-year-old.
focus on that. Like you know,
I do. Listen, but listen. The negativity that she pumped into me for so many years, that's hard to get rid of. And I
Yeah,
totally.
that's
blame
what I was.
myself for everything.
You
So
can't
here's
just
the
get rid of
thing.
it.
Today, Evelyn's sick. She's got pneumonia. And I know she doesn't feel good. And she's out of school for the week because it's Thanksgiving. So she's got these little craft kits that she does. Her mom had to work this morning. My son-in-law was here. So she did this little craft kit, and I said, "Do you want me to help you?" And she said, "No, I want to do it." And I said, "Okay, well, you do it, and if you need some help, just ask me." And she kept getting frustrated with these certain parts because the glue stick wasn't making them stick.
Good.
And I said, "Do you want me to help you?" And she looked at me and she goes, "I don't want you to help me. I want somebody else to help me." Like really nasty.
Well,
And I
that's not
said,
nice.
"Well, the only other person here is Josh. So if you want Josh to help you, go ask him." She got up and she went in the kitchen. She goes, "Josh, can you come and help me?" Like all sweet and stuff. And I'm like, "Wait, what?" So she comes back in here because he was doing some stuff in the kitchen,
Yeah,
cutting up
because you
greens for the
listen.
lizard or something.
It's not that you were just the one who called her out and not being smart enough in her little kid brain to be able to figure out the sticks, and she's like, "Man, I'm gonna figure it out." So she went and asked someone else. She wasn't like, "I don't like
Yeah,
you."
yeah. But
It's
like
not that
she
serious.
said that to me twice, and
Uh,
I finally told her, I said, "Listen, Evie, like
as
you
someone who
can't
holds the same
whine to
weight when
me
someone
about."
says something to me, let the gravity go because I can see it from the other side from here. Like
Ugh.
you're putting you're putting a lot of other people's weight on you.
Well, I did that with her today. I was like, "Listen, I know that she's sick. I also know that ASD or not ASD, which she is, she's on the spectrum. But regardless of that part of it, I also know that she's five.
Well,
And I know the one and only time that my oldest grandson, when he was 5 or 6, said to me, 'I don't like you, Granny.' It devastated me. Like it was so hard. And when she kept telling me, like, it wasn't even that she was telling me she didn't want my help. It was the way she was saying it, right? She was just being mean. And it got to the point where I was like, what did I do to offend? Like, why are you mad at me? Like, what's happening here?
again, everything you're saying comes down to the same core principle to me. You're trying to people please people who are not reciprocal of it in that moment, and you're getting sensitive about it.
With my grandkids, I don't think it's people pleasing. I just, like, I want to do anything and everything that I can for my kids and my grandkids. And I will do anything that I can. And I don't know.
No, I know. I didn't mean people pleasing like you're doing it not in a place of love. I mean it like in the most way of doing it in a place of love, where like you self said like your mom wouldn't do this. I'm doing it for these same response of I still don't like you that you felt towards your mom. It's
Yeah,
very triggering.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that part makes
Yeah, I think
sense.
so too. That's part of why I was like, the forgiveness piece. Like I know you said you've tried to forgive her, but even like taking her out of the equation because she deserves it or because it's right for her, like if it's still causing you to feel angry in a way that affects you, I feel like do the forgiveness piece for you so that you can let go of some of that. And I know it's easier said than done. And I haven't, as we've talked about
Oh,
before, it's not like I've,
it's a lifelong journey, guys. Lifelong, but you gotta
yeah.
do it. It actually gets easier. The more you forgive yourself, the easier it gets. And it doesn't mean like I'm just absolve myself of my sin type forgiveness and I'm just allowed to F up and never do it. It's like
Mhm.
I'm forgiving myself of this because I tried. I did what I thought was right. I learned. If I did make a
Mhm.
mistake, and I acted out of good, and I'm trying to do better. And therefore I forgive
Right.
myself. What else could I have done? I forgive myself.
So this I know about myself. Um, I've never gotten the forgiveness thing down, whether it's for other people or for myself.
Oh, it's just so much
I
extra
hold,
effort.
listen, I hold a grudge like a son of a bitch.
Oh, that's so exhausting. Doesn't that sound so exhausting?
I don't know. I really don't know.
It sounds so honestly, it sounds so exhausting at this point. I mean, which grudge do you want me to hold? I could have like my list is so long. I could hold that. It's like which one? I'll schedule my grudge with you for like 8 Tuesdays from now. Like, yeah. And by then, I don't
Yeah.
care anymore. I got different stuff. I'm 31. I'm working hard and trying to build a family. I don't have time to have grudges. Not productive. Way to go.
And they're heavy. Like the ones that you carry, I think can have weight to them. And the more they pile up, the more you decide to carry, the heavier it gets. I just would feel like, and I've had this on a much smaller scale. I don't mean to equate anything I've been through, but I have had things that outside influences on me that have made me angry. And when I say it makes me angry, it's not like they're
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's so normal.
they said something that hurt me and I was angry like momentarily or something. But I have like kind of angry and hateful people that I come across, and the nature of my job is I can't really cut them off. Like I visit who I visit, and but I noticed that when you're around it enough, it not only just makes me angry, but it kind of starts to make me an angry person.
I see. I'm trying.
Well, I'm
I
not
get.
that.
I
I
pick
know
up
that
on
I'm
my.
not that. And I
That's
No, I
know
don't
that I'm
think you.
not
I
an
don't
angry
think you. I
person.
don't think you are. I don't think you are at all, Streak. I've never gotten that. I mean,
I do think you're getting sucked down by it a little bit.
I think, yeah, I think holding the grudges or even the pain is
Sucking you down a little bit.
it's they are
And that's
grudges. They are,
that's a tough word.
yeah, there are like weights. They are. And so I think sometimes to some degree the forgiveness is like I need to do that so that I can put down that weight. I don't want to carry that anymore. So I think like I mean, you asked whether forgiveness is for the person that you are forgiving or for us ourselves. And I don't think, at least in my view, it's much more for ourselves. And even as
People
like a
have told
Christian,
me that. Like I've heard that so many times, Ryan.
do you not believe that to be true?
Believe it or not, my mother even told me that about my brother-in-law, and you know that situation.
Hmm.
Um, and she was like, "You have to forgive him for yourself. He will get what's coming to him the moment that he dies." And I'm like,
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
that's
But
not
forgiving
soon
him
enough for
means you
me.
don't see. You gotta let it. you gotta let it go. I know, it's holding you back from being a better version of you. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Streak, do you think that was good advice from your mom
No,
when she told you to forgive?
no,
No.
no. Because she said things like, every morning when he looks in the mirror, he has to live with what he's done. Okay, I have to live with it too, every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care if he has to live with it. I
But
have
it
no
doesn't need
interest
to
in
make you
forgiving him.
worse. What if you live with it and it makes you better and stronger?
Oh, it has made me stronger. I'll
Okay.
guarantee you that.
So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Every negative thing that's happened to me in my life, and it's a lot. You can ask Ryan. It's a lot.
So
But
now
every negative thing that's happened to me in my life has made me
So
stronger.
now it sounds like on top of being kind and introspective, you also have been stacking difficult wins on top of each other because life hasn't been easy and you've still been doing it. So I don't know. What's the problem? Sounds like you're crushing it.
I just my initial question was, why do you think that there are parents like the ones that you and Ryan had,
Because I
and
think
then
they
there are
feel
parents that are on the
overwhelmed.
opposite end of the spectrum, like my mother?
I think they feel
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Well, there are I don't there I think most people when things get difficult and they have to choose and they're spread thin, lash out on those that they care about because they know they can't provide everything, so they get mad.
Mm. And I don't know what degree it was modeled. My grandparents were great people, so my dad and his siblings are, and so most of the folks in my generation are generally people who have compassion and love for other people and treat people kindly and are generous, and like they're because it's been modeled. And I don't know, like, that's not to absolve your mom for the way that she
No,
treated you when you were young. I'm
right.
not saying like, oh, well, it's not her fault because she learned it. She didn't
No,
have the model that
exactly.
I
We're
did.
not
But I
ever
think,
absolving her for wrongs. That's a big point to get.
No, I didn't think that
yeah.
you were. I didn't think you were.
But I
Um,
do think like I do think like it's sometimes, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but there are sometimes that I am amazed by people who learned from bad parenting and became great parents, or just anybody that like
Oh, I'm sure.
had that received very little to like almost no love in their childhood, who grow up to be loving people. I'm like
Humans
amazed.
inherently want to love, I think, and want
Yeah.
to be loved.
Yeah, I
so,
agree.
so Ryan, you know that my daughter and um, her, I call him my son-in-law, it's her fiance, but um, and my youngest granddaughter right now live with us. My daughter's pregnant. She's 7 months, so she got a big old belly, right? And before she goes to bed every night, she comes over here and she gives me this, and we hug so hard. And I rub her belly and I tell her how much I love her, and I talk to her belly and I tell August how much I love
Okay,
him.
all
And my
right. So
sister.
I already heard enough. Everything that ever happened in your past up until this point has already been it's already been worth it right there with what you just said right there.
And you learned the
You
lesson.
said it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job well done. Like you literally took shitty stuff and then you just right there like gave the perfect example of what we were talking about earlier about just non-materialistic ways of showing love that
Hmm.
you'll never forget as a child or as a grandparent. So you're not off the mark. You're just listening to people who are not focused on the same goal of love that you are. And
And
when you
I'm
hear
finding
that,
that,
you just
yeah.
gotta let them go.
Yeah. I'm
Not let them
finding
go
that
like in
like
your life.
as I spend more time on this app, this project started on Instagram for the first started a year ago. The first 7-8 months were on Instagram, and I was hoping to stay there, but I couldn't go live. I found out because I don't have 1,000 followers. So I came over to TikTok and started doing this here. And I've met a handful of people since I've done this, and I find myself like drawn to people who are just that have that base love for other people, if that makes sense. Like that's the only. I have trouble being around people or engaging, spending much time with people. Hey, Brandy.
Hey guys, I'm cooking.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brandy.
getting ready. Are you hosting?
I'm at my in-laws. I'm in charge of macaroni and greens, so that's what
I
I'm
love
doing
it.
right now.
Do you make
I love it.
homemade baked macaroni and cheese? Please
Yes,
tell me yes.
ma'am.
Yeah, I
Eggs,
bet.
noodle,
I
milk,
bet
and
it's
cheese.
amazing.
That's
I
all
bet
you
it's
need.
amazing. Brandy, it's good to see you. I didn't expect anyone to come tonight, to be honest. And I was debating like just tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so don't do it. Just take the night
Yeah,
off.
I just popped in to say hey.
Yeah, I won't. We don't keep you. But and we're not
Tomorrow,
really
you're
gonna.
only allowed to check your phone to look at football scores.
I like it. I like it. My boys are getting big into watching the NFL, so we'll have it on all day, I would imagine. And we're hosting at our house. I don't know how to cook anything. I'm really good at doing dishes. I can contribute in other ways.
So Ryan,
That's not my thing.
Ryan, I'm gonna tell you something. When I met my husband 28 years ago, the only things that he knew how to cook were frozen pizza and the Burger King drive-through.
Yeah.
So
BK
I
in
did
the
all
house.
of yes, I did all of the cooking. I did all of the I did everything, all of the kitchen stuff, right? So after I had my heart attack
Yeah.
and my physicality started leaving me and I couldn't stand in the kitchen anymore the way I used to, we started cooking together on Sundays. And we cook for the whole week because he works long hours and he can't come home and cook every night. So we cook for the whole week on Sunday. And that man now can actually follow a recipe and make actual food. I do all the sous
I
chef
can
stuff, all
follow a
the
recipe. I will
cutting and
not
chopping,
follow a
and
recipe.
I
Extra
Monday
butter,
morning
extra salt.
quarterback it from the kitchen chair.
Yeah.
But
My
like last week, he made biscuit gravy from scratch, completely from scratch. I was so incredibly proud of him, and I
That's
told him
amazing.
that. Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you couldn't have done any of this. You wouldn't have done any of this. And now, look what you're doing.
He's a good man, Savannah.
Here's the thing: when you're effing up at a lot of things, there's only room to grow.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I tried our anniversary a couple years ago. I tried to surprise my wife, and I went to like a steakhouse that we go to for special occasions on birthdays or anniversaries. And I ordered it all, like the whole meal for takeout. And I came home and like put the steaks in a pan on the stove.
Why?
I took them out of the boxes that I brought them home in. And I put the salad like in a strainer and kind of
Bro, why
messed
don't
up
you
the
just go to the restaurant with your wife?
Well, I tried to pretend. That's what we usually do. But I tried to pretend that I was, and I knew she would know better. I wasn't really
I knew the story was going to backfire from the second you said you took
immediately.
like, really nice steaks from a restaurant and tried to recreate the same thing, bro.
I brought them home.
That's
from
on
the
you. That's a
steakhouse.
learning lesson. You got to go.
It was as soon as she saw the Caesar salad. So I like put the bowls out. I was like, "Go sit down, and I'll like kind of serve it to you." And I brought her the Caesar salad. And she's like, "There's no way you'd made this." And I was just like, "Yeah, I know."
You got me. You got me.
Because it had like it's a nice place, so it had like 3 types of Parmesan cheese, and they were all like cut, like there was little cubes, and then shavings, and then like one other shape or texture of Parmesan cheese in this Caesar salad. And as soon as she saw those 3 Parmesan, she was just like, "Not a chance. There's no chance that you did this." And I was like,
because you
"I
didn't see
know."
the different cheeses in the fridge, bro. That
Yeah.
gave it away.
She just knows there's no
What
way.
would you do? You bought just enough for this, but
Yeah.
you threw out all the other bags of the cheese.
She knows that mine would have had like mozzarella on it. And I'm like, it's white cheese. It's the same. It's the same.
You are not. This is not your strong suit. That
No,
way.
not at all. You are right.
Okay.
That's funny.
She also, my wife also loves, like it's therapeutic for her to be in the kitchen. She loves it. She loves cooking, and
I do too.
yeah, she'll put like a book, like an earpiece in, and listen to a book and just make a whole meal. Or she loves it.
I kind of
Yeah, it makes me sad that I can't cook dinner every night anymore.
Yeah.
like for me prepping the dinner, like getting my stuff ready. I kind of love that. I don't know why, but it's like it's fun.
Do you like baking? I used to love to bake.
Well, I like baking in the
tried
sense that
to
you
make
can
it.
just like put it in there and then don't think about it for a period of time. That is a good cooking style. I
Yeah.
do like it.
No, I
tried
mean like
making-
baking cakes and stuff like
Oh,
that.
hell no.
I tried
Really?
making banana bread. I made some banana bread a month ago, and my kids wouldn't even eat it. That's how bad it was.
No, my sweet tooth is
And
literally.
I put chocolate chips in it, like copious amounts of chocolate chips into that banana bread. Like thinking,
butters and fats. That's my sweet tooth. Butters and
Yeah.
fats.
Oh, I don't know if
Carbs.
I'm gonna be able to fit 2 bags in here. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh,
I
I
was
love
thinking
it.
out loud.
Brandy, are you hosting tomorrow?
No,
What'd
I'm
you
at
say?
my in-laws. They're the
good.
hosts. They're the hosts.
Is that more relaxed? Have you hosted in the past?
No, I've actually never hosted Thanksgiving because we have a big family, and so everybody gets together.
That's going to be a
But
good
now,
day, huh?
But now everybody's getting married and they have their own spouses and stuff, and so it's not as many people as it used to be. But it's okay.
Well, they'll probably start coming back around when babies start coming.
Oh man, well we got a good little bit of kids, but
Do you have
okay,
anything
though.
during the year? Do you have anything during the year where the whole family gets together, or not really?
it's usually Thanksgiving. For Christmas Eve, sometimes we all get together. It just depends. They have birthday parties. The older folks in the family, they throw their own birthday parties.
I love it.
So we
Do you
show up for that.
you live
kind of
close
stuff.
by, or you live close by, or you stay in the
we
night
live
there?
like 2 hours away.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
But
Brandy-
my kids come up here often to be with their grandparents. They love it. They love their grands.
I love it. That's awesome. Streak, what's your plan for tomorrow?
So, since I can't stand in the kitchen and do all of that, like Thanksgiving is a lot. And my daughter and her fiance are going over to his parents' house about 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the time they're eating. So I just got a really small turkey. It's 11.5 pounds. And you can't have a turkey without stuffing, right? So I got that. And my husband likes mashed potatoes, not stuffing, so we got that. And then I was sitting here yesterday and I was like, that's not it. Like, that's just not it. And so I ordered the stuff today from the grocery store so I can make green bean casserole too, one of my favorites. So it's just small, not a lot of stuff. And my daughter and her fiance will be back in time to eat dinner.
Nice.
So,
So just your immediate crew?
yeah, so my other daughter and her family used to come over when the kids were smaller. And now, since her aunt passed away, I think 2 years ago, um, and since they bought a really big, nice house, they do Thanksgiving at their house. And her sister and her sister's kids come over, and there's a a new great niece, and so they come over. The niece and the great niece come over. So she has this whole big group of people over there, and her husband's family comes over, and I'm just like, so it's been, I haven't been to my other daughter's house in like 4 years. Because we went over there for some occasion, and I can't remember. It had to have been in the summertime because my son-in-law cooked burgers and stuff out on the grill, and we sat down to eat, and she had metal folding chairs at a card table, and the big table was already filled up with people. So my husband and I sat down at the card table, and when I sat down, the chair flipped out from under me,
Oh
and
no.
I went face first onto the floor, and everybody was just like looking at me, like, and I can't go over there anymore. Like that, and I know that that's my thing, and I know that I don't know if it's pride or just pure embarrassment, or I don't know what it is, but I can't, I'm not willing to go and take that chance, if that makes any sense.
It makes sense. But I think it like even what BK said, it's just holding on to stuff that I wish didn't burden you. Like holding grudges, and I don't say that as like I would struggle to set these things down too. I struggle with holding grudges too. Like it's not easy for me to just drop them,
Yeah.
but I think like BK said, there's cause to be so grateful that you have become who you have become in spite of external influence.
Well,
I'm glad we
proud of
connected.
you. Guys, I gotta go. Thank you for letting me talk and share. And by the
Thanks,
way,
BK.
Yeah, I gotta run to you
I
guys. I
think
gotta.
you have done a great job, and you got to give yourself some credit every once in a while.
I appreciate
You know,
that.
when it's earned. You know, especially when you work hard. So pat
BK,
yourself on the back in there.
BK, if you're ever available, come join us Wednesday nights. I've loved
Yeah.
talking with you, man. I've
Cool.
enjoyed
Have
getting
a
to know
good
you a
one,
little bit.
guys. Talk to you later.
See you.
Yeah, I'm finna go to him so I can finish cooking.
Yeah, I gotta bring tables down from upstairs and a bunch of chairs, and we're hosting. We always host.
Well, I
It'll
hope
be
you
fun.
guys have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow.
You guys too.
Yeah.
We'll
See
hook
you,
up.
Brandy.
We'll hook up next week.
Yep. I'm trying to be. That's the only reason I did it tonight is because I want to be consistent. I don't want to I committed, and I'll take Wednesdays off if it's a Christmas or something like that. But I don't really want to. I want to be consistent. Wednesday nights, 9:00
No, it's all good. I
is
understand.
helpful for me. So thanks for doing this. It doesn't always have to be hours and hours.
Well, I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all my
See
people.
you.
Okay.
See you.
Love y'all. Bye, y'all.
Good night,
Love you
Brandy.
too.
Thanks.
Bye, Brandy.
Yeah. Streak. Thanks for being here.
No problem. Somebody's wanting to come up, Ryan.
Oh, we were kind of winding down, but let's say hello. Welcome, Junior. Junior?
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you, Junior. Thanks for stopping in. How are you tonight?
Yeah, no problem. How you doing? Ready for Thanksgiving?
Ready. We are ready. We were just talking about what the day holds. What are you up to tomorrow?
Just having some friends over.
Nice.
So, a question. Reconsider church.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, we just created a place for people who left church.
So why would one reconsider it if it's about people who left it?
Because I think a lot of the people who left it left for, in many cases, the same reason. There's lots of reasons, but the question becomes, to me, is it a valid reason to leave? Did the church mess up, or did the church, are they culpable for why people left? So, for example, I'll give you one. one
Sorry,
example
go
that
ahead.
may make it clear off the top of my head. There was like 11 or 13 people that told me that the reason that they stopped going to church was financially related, whether it was every time they went to church, they felt like the church was asking them to give more money or to tithe, or they felt pressured to give. In other circumstances, they felt like the church was taking in a lot of money and doing little to nothing to help the poor, or they were just the enriching themselves, kind of like all the money was staying in the church. I remember one that was like, they're making me give as much as I possibly can, and I'm giving thousands of dollars to this church, and then they put a new coffee bar in the foyer that costs $300,000, and I'm like, that's where my money is going. Does that make sense? So financial
Yeah,
corruption,
I get
financial issues was like the number 4 or 5 reason people gave me for why they left the church. So if that was the case, if that was the reason they left, what if there existed a church that didn't have any possibility of financial corruption or taking your money or asking you for your money? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm getting you, and it makes sense.
So this church has, I'll never ask for money. I'll never accept donations or try to sell you anything, and the reason for that is because I know that there are a lot of people who left the church because of financial reasons. I think you can take the financial piece, you can take that. Is threat a too strong a word? You can take that possibility or that option for why people left the church out entirely by saying, don't give me money ever. If you want to be part of the church, we can gather here on Wednesday nights, and then during the week or during the month, you can do something to help someone in need. Does that make sense?
Well, oh yeah, dude, keep going with what you're going, but I have some questions about preachers trying to string different books, just simple quotes through different books to make a point. And one of them would be financial, and then others would be, oh, the devil's in you or whatever.
Can you give us an example
My
of like
oh,
what quotes you're talking about?
just listen to any preacher online, pull it up, and they'll pull something from Isaiah, move it to, jeez, David. And, what I'm saying is they try to structure a statement through 3 verses from 3 books, and it makes. Now, if you're listening and you haven't actually read the Bible, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But if you actually have studied theology, it's just like, that's basically entrapment, saying you need to do this because I string together 3 sentences out of 3 books, and I think that is demoralizing to humanity and morality, to be honest with you.
I agree. I think you're spot on, and that's not a new thing.
No,
Historically, the church has sort of cherry-picked verses to make with an agenda, with something in mind to accomplish by doing that. That goes back to the first century. I mean, throughout the churches, and it still happens today, of course. And it sounds like you know your stuff, but this has been taken into consideration with this church. There are no sermons, and that's intentional too. It's not because I work as a hospice chaplain and I'm not a preacher, but I don't think we I think we were focusing on these sermons from these pastors who may or may not be people you should be listening to. And so then it becomes I'm trying to get plugged in with a church, or I want to find a church, but I want to know what the pastor thinks about this, that, and the other thing. And I want to know what he or she is going to be, speaking about, or where their frame of reference is, what their views are on social issues, or whatever it is. You're trying to find the right pastor, which is not a bad thing, but this church doesn't really have a pastor in a sense of like, every Wednesday I'm going to get on here and give a 45-minute sermon, and I hope you enjoy it. I don't think we need sermons. All we do in this church is read a book of the Bible each month, and we pray for each other as we read it.
That's golden.
You don't
appreciate that.
Yeah, but nobody reads. This is also a factor. Nobody reads the Bible. I'm talking about Christians, not non-Christians. I asked, over the course of 2.5 years, I asked church-going Christians if they read their Bible with any degree of regularity. That was the exact quote, the exact way I asked it. And I never asked it judgmentally.
No.
I never asked it judgmentally. I asked people that I know, people that I work with, people that I know go to church, and I usually framed it by saying, it can be hard. The discipline of reading the Bible can be hard, and I'm not as good at it as I'd like to be. But do you read your Bible with any degree of regularity? And I asked, over 2.5 years, I asked 127 church-going Christians if they read their Bible with any degree of regularity. Do you want to guess how many said yes?
I'd say 2. Well, if
5.
I'm sure there are some lying individuals, yeah, so I'd say no.
I don't think anyone, well, I could be wrong. 5 out of 127. So I say this because not because not because I'm trying to be like holier than thou. I'm saying most of the problems most of the problems that come within Christian nationalism are because you have such a base of Christians who are biblically illiterate. So if I can get people, if we can get Christians to read their Bible, they will see that when people try to convince them that empathy is a sin, they will know that that's nonsense. If you read the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, if you see Jesus' life, you can't possibly make a case that empathy could be toxic or sinful. Does that make sense? So our whole goal is to just read. Don't listen to pastors anymore. Just read.
Exactly.
I would say go ahead. I would say go ahead and
to Christians for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, but if you are reading with regularity, then go ahead and find a pastor and listen to them and see if you agree with what they're saying, and they'll have good lessons from the verses. But we have a whole lot of people that are listening. We have a whole lot of people that listen to a lot of sermons that don't read, and so they don't know if they should be questioning what they're hearing in that sermon.
Okay, so I have a question about something that a Christian told us the other night in the live that I go in late night. So he said, all of y'all need to wake up. We're in danger. And we're like, what? And he goes, yeah. Don't you know that because Trump did, now he used all of the words, I'm not going to. Don't you know that because Trump did what the rumors say he did to Bill Clinton, our country is now being ruled by Jews?
So X plus Y equals Z. It's a mathematical point that is unsolvable. He's just talking out of his arse, pardon my word.
I know. It was so funny.
But it's rooted. It is rooted in dreadful eschatology, which is like the theological branch that deals with the end times, like Revelation and Daniel.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
so this
started in what year? 1863 or 1865? I can't remember. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. 65, I think. Yeah, the question is, is not a new one, I suppose.
Like
It's
I get
illogical,
really
pointless,
angry.
and it's been proven over and over that there
Well,
is
but
an
he does.
end
I mean,
time,
he knows.
as well as when Jesus, he was an end time person himself, and was thought to come back in the time of his before the apostles' death. But that didn't happen, and this end time circulation of BS, it's frustrating. But
Yeah, I think
that's
that.
just my point.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that not so much like this new, relatively new doctrine on like the rapture and things like that, but historically, like it's been used. It's been used to make us afraid.
Afraid, and
So
it's used for
yes,
control.
yeah, and that's when you get this bad eschatology. If you adopt the bad eschatology, it immediately puts you on in a fearful frame of mind. Like this is like this apocalypse Armageddon type of thing is about to unfold, and so that's where you get. I mean, as far back as I can remember, like repent now, the people with the signs on, like
Oh yeah.
the wrath of God is near, something like that. Like I understand biblically, like how they got there, how they got to form this type of eschatology. I don't agree with it because I don't think that the goal of our faith should be to increase how much fear we live in. But when it takes full hold like that, and you guys you go on this like kind of pre-tribulation rapture, like this eschatology that's going to be like left behind type of terror, then you get someone on alive that says you need to wake up and be and know that this is what's going on. Like it doesn't surprise me. But
You know
Streak, you
what,
know what?
Ryan? Something that I recognized when I was in the church, and it wasn't the whole time. It was towards the end when I started questioning things. And my son, my oldest son, went to Sunday school from the time he was itty bitty, right? His children's pastor was amazing, Pastor Mike. I loved him. And he was really good with my son who had some uh, impulse control issues. Um, and so I started realizing that the whole fear factor thing is started from the very beginning. Because what did they tell kids? And not only do they teach them about Noah and the ark and Adam and Eve. I mean, Adam and Eve is even a fear type thing. But if you don't, if you're not a good person, if you don't do what God wants you to do, you're going to go to hell.
Eternity
Like,
in a fire, in an eternity in
yeah,
a lake of fire. Yeah, it's
yeah.
how terrifying, right? So it's supposed to like spur you up to that altar for an altar call out of just pure terror.
But we're telling little kids this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and because I think the church is
it's to
the
get the
church
seed in.
and I think because you can do a lot once you instill that fear. It is a seed. Once you instill that fear,
Yeah.
then you could manipulate that. You can use that forever. I think the political world has also adopted this philosophy. Like no matter who's in power, both sides are terrified of what the other is going to do. And
Right.
I refuse to let that make me. I'm as concerned looking at this country as anybody. Like I'm not as aware of every single thing that's going on every hour of the day on the news, and it is nonstop. Like I had a long work day today, and it was exhausting, like emotionally and mentally exhausting. So I got home and saw what happened with these National Guards, and it's almost like I can't do that today. I can't, and it's not I promise you, it's not because I don't care. I'm not being apathetic or lacking empathy, but it's what it will do is it's turning up the temperature, making us
Yeah.
more afraid or concerned, and it's like, I can't do that today. I can't. And in general, like, there's a reason that this is an interesting, it sounds like a sermon, but the most common prohibition that Jesus gave, I think he said it like 91 times across the 4 Gospels. The biggest thing he told us not to do was fear.
Right.
And he said it just about at every turn. He says it so often that you don't, if you read through one of the Gospels, it may not even register, because he's walking out on the boat in a storm, and and his disciples see him, and he's like, fear not this, fear not this, fear not, over and over and over and over and over again. And there's a reason that, like, I think he was trying to get that point across so often. It's because we can't be fearful.
I'm not fearful. I'm angry at the people in this country that are doing the damage that they're doing.
Mm. Yeah.
And I was never angry at things like that up until the last 10 years.
Yeah. But even that, I think that even that robs you of your peace.
Of course.
Whether it's fear or anger or whatever it is that you hold on to that robs you of your peace is devastating. Like, I think of this, I posted this a little while ago, and I know it. I post a couple times a week, and sometimes I don't even transfer them over from Instagram, and nobody really, they're not very, I don't have an audience, which I'm okay with. I mean, it's a couple people that I think read and like them and respond. But at the end of Jesus' ministry in John 20, he's having this conversation, and over again, he just says, my peace I leave with you. And they sometimes, in liturgical churches, like high churches, they'll have a moment. I don't know if you've ever been to a church like that, where they say, peace be with you. And then you get up and shake hands with other people in the church and say, peace be with you. They do it in the Presbyterian church that my dad goes to. Like, halfway through the service, everybody stands up and you turn to the person to the left of you, to the right of you, the one right in front of you, and the one right behind you, and say, peace be with you. And that's because he said it over and over again at the end of it 3 times in like 3 different verses. My peace I leave with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Like, he wanted us to carry that peace. It's hard to do that when we're afraid.
Yeah,
or
I
angry
believe that wholeheartedly. Yeah. But I remember when I was in church, outside of the things that happened that I've told you about, and my reasons for leaving, I remember feeling peaceful, whether I was in the church or not. I mean, there were things that happened that I didn't know how I was going to make it work out and that kind of thing. And even though I prayed about it, I was like, I don't think Jesus is just going to drop $35 in my lap for my electric bill, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Ma'am.
But
you need to do for yourself to do that. God isn't going to do that for you.
Right, exactly. But I remember having that peace just about myself and about my life. And that's the part that I want to get back to, but I don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah, I want that for you too, to have that peace. And I think that it can sound like I'm like making it sound like it's not justifiable for you to be angry or to be, whether it's what's going on in this country or what's gone, your mom or whatever it is. Like, I think that those things can rob you from your peace. Because I don't know that it's hard to be angry or afraid or carrying grudges or resentful or whatever it is. It's hard to hold those things and have peace simultaneously, I
Yeah.
think. I mean,
No, I
that's not
agree.
entirely
Well,
true. I think there are people who have yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you
I just
can
thought of
simply
a
do it
page.
through meditation, whether you believe in meditation. I found it very helpful myself. Calm my nerves to get my stuff together and to get my stuff focused. But I'm sorry, host.
Yeah.
Reconsideration. So, what aspect of Christianity are you thinking of speaking about?
And I am so grateful for these questions. Do you know that?
I'm glad. I mean,
I'm grateful
dude, you
for them.
seem like an awesome dude, and you answer questions. So, yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm grateful because I have put a lot of time into this. Not that I need the thank you or the credit for it, but these questions that you're bringing are questions that I've had this last year or taken into consideration as we've been doing this project. And this is how I would answer that question. And I did. There's videos. You can go all the way back to the beginning of my page. It would take forever. But in there's a video of this is what this church believes, what it is, what it's, what we'll do. I mentioned the read the Bible. So each month we read Matthew or Mark or Luke or John.
Just tell me rather than referring to something.
I am getting there. So we landed on the statement of faith for this church as what's called the Apostles' Creed. Are you familiar with that?
I'm sorry, it didn't sound like you finished the sentence.
No, are you familiar with the Apostles' Creed?
No, I am not.
Okay, that's okay. It's one of the earliest. It's the earliest thing that I could find that Christians, as far as like a statement of faith, what they said they believe, and it's posted in there too. But it's intentional. That's our statement of faith, the Apostles' Creed. That's what we believe. So it's a non-denominational Christian church.
So, what year was it founded?
Like around 33 AD.
So it would be. Wait, no, 33. Jesus died in 32, so it can't be founded in 33.
Okay,
Churches
so yeah, then
didn't start forming.
Yeah. Whenever you think, because some people think he was born maybe 4 or 5 BC. Have you heard that before?
Correct.
Other scholars think that he was born at 2 or 3 AD. So it's an estimation as far as when this church was founded. But when Jesus talked about follow me and what he meant by that, and when he laid out what he expected followers of him to do in Matthew 25, I think that is the call for the church. And I think the early church understood that. Because I think and you seem to know your stuff, but in Acts 15, when Peter and Paul parted ways, Peter said, make sure you take care of the poor. And Paul said, that's the only thing we were going to do anyway. So that's why the only thing this church does is help the poor. I don't know if that makes sense. That probably doesn't answer your question. Do you have more theological questions?
That is beautiful as a standpoint of your faith that follows with what Jesus said. But I'm assuming the beginning of your religion was well after 100 CE or AD, whatever, however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
But so, you're saying it's an early descent, or maybe
You don't
the
think?
beginning of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I don't. I
You
mean,
can't say it. You can't say it's Protestant unless it's forward, like 1432, because Protestantism didn't happen until Gutenberg's printing press. But
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Do you think that when Jesus explained what he expected his followers to do, was that the foundation? Do you think being a follower of Christ, do you think that was the origin of the church, of the Christian church?
I think
So what is your
it's
definition of church?
I think it's a manipulation by Paul or Saul or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. Can I tell you what I
Never,
think the
who
definition
never
of the
met
church is?
Jesus. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'll tell you my definition of the church. It is anyone who is following Christ.
Sure.
So if that's me and someone else and someone in a different part of the world or wherever, if there's 1,000 of us or 50,000, a million of us, whatever it is, that are trying as much as they can to follow in the way that Jesus lived and taught. Well, maybe I think there's probably
but see,
way fewer nominally Christians. But I mean,
this is why I like talking to you. You're realistic about this stuff, and when I say stuff that doesn't adhere to biblical, you're just like, cool, let me hear about it. And see, that's why I followed you. Most Christians are very defensive and don't want to hear the history of the church, and that's I totally respect you. So anything,
and I'm happy to have those. I'm happy to have those discussions about the Reformation and whatever, kind of church history stuff. I love it as a topic. It's something I studied and I loved it. But I do think that what the church is the collection of all of those people that are trying to follow Christ.
Correct.
That's what I think the church is. Yeah. So I think the institutional church, whenever that started, and the financial corruption and that has come with it, and all the other things that have made people leave, their response to the C-19, the church hurt, people who were like scarred and damaged by an experience within church, and so they left.
Well, that's
I also would
how
love
it
to.
started with the financial corruption and being able to print stuff. It's just like the church has been taking
Paid for sacraments,
advantage of us for so long, and now we have print, and it's doing the underground, and people are like, once they were able to read, the pamphlets were typically spoken by those that could read, but then people are just like, nah, F the Catholic Church. And that's how Protestantism began. And then Calvinism and, all the offshoots. But
you might like Brandy. I wish you could have stuck
education that moves people away when they know they're being taken advantage of.
Yeah. And historically, they have tried to not get people to read, right? like you mentioned Gutenberg and
Right.
these other people that were trying to
you
translate
keep the
the
general
Bible, and the church was
population dumb.
furious. Yes, so you can tell them what
Yeah.
it says. You don't read it, and the Catholic Church has done that historically. And I'm not throwing shade, but even still, like they're like, don't bother with this book. We'll tell you what it says. I'll
That's why
like and
that's why Luther posted the 95 shit, what is it called?
theses,
Statements,
yeah.
but
Theses.
thesis, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
On the German church. Just like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's not how this book works. And then that spreaded many other Protestant religions. And that's
you know
another
the
thing.
main
I wanna,
Yeah, go ahead.
do you
So our
do you
statement of
believe
faith, our
there's-
statement of faith is the. Go ahead.
Do you believe that there is a correct Christian philosophy for your God? And what I'm talking about is, Catholicism, Presbyterianism, Lutheranism, Calvinism, and
So my answer
the
to that
many
is no.
divisions.
My answer to that is no. There's no one correct way.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. What do you think, Oz?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question. My name's Ryan, by the way. Some people.
Oh,
Yeah.
how you doing, Ryan? My name's Chris.
Nice to see you, Chris. Thanks for coming in tonight. Yeah. What does God, like the vision of God in my brain? Do I think, in my understanding of Him as a deity, and what my understanding of theism, do I think that is definitely right? And if you don't have my understanding in your mind, then you are incorrect. I don't think that. I think that there are things that we can know about God. That's why I'm not a kind of an agnostic or an atheist. I think He has chosen to reveal Himself. I think He is, as Brandy would say, an incarnational God. So He reveals Himself in creation and in the Messiah, in my belief system, and in other ways. In each of us, if we.
What is the revealing though? You become stressed
Some
out.
people will say that the revealing is something as simple as nature. That if you go outside and you look at a tree, then how can you think that there's not a God that created that?
How I see with that argument, I'm like, why would you think God did? It's like He's fucked up a lot of things. Pardon my language.
Yeah. We had a conversation with Brandy, I think a week or two ago, about whether or not God is what type of being God is. Like He talks about, I will be what I will be. I am what I am. It's like, as people try to figure it out, He's like, you will not be able to define me. But I don't think He's unknowable. That's why at least in my faith system, but I think there are a lot of things, like if we unpack what I personally believe on the Eucharist or baptism or whatever topic, and you and I would have to figure out whether we agree or disagree on these things, is irrelevant. Like if I'm like, I'm going to try to follow Him, and anybody else that's like me too, then we're on the same team. And I think Jesus and Paul talked about how important it was to be united, right? They said it on multiple occasions, like, you must be united. And now we've got 50,000 different Protestant denominations in the States. Is the opposite of united. So I think, like, in a sense, this is a pretty broad church as far as who is welcome here. It's anyone that's like, I want to try to follow Jesus' teachings, even if they're just following his ethics. Brandy talks about trying to be compassionate and loving. I found that on this app, it's hard for me to spend time with people who are not kind or loving. Just like, I don't need any more of that.
Yeah.
don't know if
Those
that
are the
makes
type
sense.
of people you tell them to piss off. Unless, like me, I'm asking questions because I am a
Yeah, and
non-believer. But yeah, I mean, you're such a good guy and explaining your point. If anybody's an asshole to you, yeah, just kick them off.
So, Chris,
No,
let me ask you.
you
Chris, let
know
me
how
ask
to
you a
explain
question.
things. Yes, ma'am.
Did you?
And I'm sorry,
Because
what's your name?
you're a little bit hard to hear, but so I just want to make sure. Did you just say that you're a non-believer?
I am.
Okay, so, and I'm not asking this to. I really hope that it doesn't come off like I'm trying to come at you or anything. I'm asking
Just
out of
ask.
no, because I want you to know I'm asking out of um, sincere curiosity. If somebody like yourself is a non-believer, a true non-believer, then
Mhm.
why do you ask the questions that you're asking?
Um, I can definitely answer you 100 with 100% honesty.
Okay.
I've been intrigued with theology, and definitely not Christianity. Um, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. I love the Quran. Have you ever loved the Quran? I actually
My son is Muslim,
moved.
actually.
Okay, okay. And I understand why, because to me that makes more sense than the Bible does. Um, but rereading it, it's just like, no, this is just kind of moving within biblical waves. And I also studied Eastern religion, Hinduism and Buddhism, just the majors, the five majors of Eastern and Western philosophy or religion, however you want to put it. And I didn't find anything that struck me as real. And so, especially finding the host here who's talking about, it's just like, that really hits me in the heart. It's just like, this guy is actually moving to do good things as
Hmm.
far as Christianity. He's not fucking around. He's just like, yes, this is what I believe, and I I love it. And so I'm following this gentleman, and I want to go with his Christian friends and reading the Bible, whatever the time frame is, and going through it and asking specific questions. Um, I'm sorry, I kind of went off a little. So
I love it.
does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. The purpose, I think the goal is to love and treat people well, in my view.
Exactly.
More so than like, let's hash out the authorship of Mark, or I'm happy to do all that stuff. Like I said, I don't mind it, but I'd rather just read and think of each other. If you're not a big prayer, just like I think of Brandy and Streak and Earth and a couple people like the originals from Instagram. I think about them throughout the week, and I pray for them because that's part of my day. I have the names of the people who are reading written down on an index card, and I sit it in my car so I can think of them and pray for them each day through the month as we read through Matthew or Mark or Luke or John. We're reading Mark this month. It's the shortest one. And then we do things to help the poor.
Host, have you read the Quran?
I not in its entirety, but we did study Islam in school. But I'm sure you know it better than I do. I have read it. Not cover to cover.
Just as simply as reading the Bible. It takes a while. The Quran is, I want to say, 300 pages shorter. But you should just go through it to, especially with the relationship that you have with Jesus, just to see a further explanation, like as the third prophecy, as the Quran claims or Muhammad claims. I believe if you want to believe in a God, you should read all the diction. But that's up to you.
I think that's a good statement, though. I
I
really
hear
do.
you.
And
Thank you,
not
ma'am.
not
How so?
necessarily, or I mean, not. I don't mean not necessarily. I mean not at all. Not to convert anybody, but just so that you know where other religions stand and what they stand on and what they believe in. You know what I mean? I think that's a really good
Yeah.
idea.
And I think I have a pretty good understanding of Islam. I mean, I have not sat down and read cover to cover the Quran. But we did go through it quite a bit. And the life of Muhammad, which I think is more of an influence to me than the book itself is the person, the life that they lived, if that makes sense.
And how his life disgusts you, I'm sure, but I believe if you read the scripture, it will help you understand other cultures and other religions,
I hear you.
Islam. And you should just read through it. You already have preconceived notion of Muhammad, but just read the book. I mean,
what are my preconceptions?
Well, I'm afraid you're gonna say about him marrying a 9-year-old.
Would
Do
you
you
say
know that there
that's
were people in the Bible that did that? Because back then, that was the age that people got married. So to say that
Right.
Muhammad
yeah,
married a 9-year-old girl doesn't surprise me at all, good or bad. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I hear you.
Because
That's
people
not where I
only
was
lived to
going.
But
be in their 30s or 40s back then. So they married really young.
and it's
And
really a back
they also
note
could have lots of
in
wives, right?
Yes.
correct. But see, a lot of American, especially, think that, oh, that's evil, and it's just like that was normal. And I don't think they conceived until she was 12, which sounds sick nowadays, but that's how you did it back then. It's like once you can
Did he have
conceive, you
did
need
he
to
have
conceive because you're
did he have
likely going to
multiple
die at 25 years old.
yeah. Did he have a lot of wives? Do you know or no?
That I'm not sure of. Wait, what was it? thinking of too.
I'll go ask
Well,
the Google
like,
machine.
yeah, please do. It might have been 3, but I haven't read the Quran or the Bible in at least 10, 15 years. I had an argument with some Christian panelist. He's just like, "Oh, you know the Bible?" He's like, "All right, and Daniel, who took over?" And I was like, "Mesopotamia, I believe. I haven't read it." And he's like, "Oh no, blah blah blah." And then I googled it, and I was just like, "Yeah, Babylon. That's Mesopotamia." What? I don't know what you're arguing against. I haven't read this shit in forever.
So the Google machine says that Muhammad had a total of 13 wives.
13. I
However,
said 3.
however,
Yeah.
two of them, the accounts of their marriages are ambiguous. So
So 11.
at least 11, yeah.
So he's like an 1875 Mormon.
Uh, Believe it or not, there are people who are not Mormon who are polygamists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which
No,
group?
I mean, I hear the points. I mean, yeah, they're not the only ones that are polygamous. You're right. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I studied it enough to know that I'm pretty secure where I'm at. It's not that I'm not open to learning new things. It's that my focus is more on character and trying to, in my case, become more like Christ. That's my commitment more so than like to be the leading apologist on TikTok, to be
I don't like that word apologist. No.
or debater. Then I mean, whatever these. I mean, Brandy interacts with them sometimes. These like, what does she call them? Something like, it's not Bible boys or these like, I don't know what they are. Like these young
The
white men
debate
that
bros,
are debate bros. Is that what she calls them?
I know that that's a term commonly used. I don't know if that's what Brandy uses.
When you use the term debate bros, are they debating religion or are they sometimes debating politics?
Uh, Anything and everything, and they're all young men
Yeah.
who now we were told this back when I was doing my lives. We were told this by a debate bro, and he used to come up in my live all the time. And it was like every other week he had new talking points, and he would stick to those talking points for a couple of weeks, and then we wouldn't see him for a few days, and he would come back with new
When you be
talking
back.
points.
Yeah.
And
That's brilliant.
Was he political? Was he political or
yeah,
religious?
mostly political. And we said,
Yeah, I think what Brandy.
why are you doing things like that? And he said, listen, this is how we do it. We have Discord groups that are set up specifically to teach us how to debate you guys.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating? I had a moment, and I know Chris. I know you don't know Brandy. She's another one that comes pretty regularly on Wednesday nights, and she is. She's got an amazing mind. So smart. But she comes to with these questions and she takes them to these debate bros, but they're not political guys. These are all like there's a whole bunch of them that are their focus is religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so they so their background will be like, I'm a Christian. debate me or whatever, like some like background that's like,
Prove to me
and
that
so I
God
watched,
is real, or prove to me that God isn't
yes,
real.
yeah.
Stuff like, yeah, those are
And so
debate bros. Yep.
in the beginning,
Those
I
are the
came,
ones that usually come up on my feed. I'm so glad I got this one.
yeah, I have no interest in that. I followed Brandy early on in my time in TikTok, and I saw her up there with a guy, some dude that was running it, and Brandy was up and asked her question, and the guy didn't. She's so smart, the guy didn't even understand her question, and so he just kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't even make sense. Like kind of like tried to make her look like the idiot somehow, or whatever it was. She was like, come back and ask a reasonable question, and then she got dropped or something. And then I was just trying to request up to be like, okay, you didn't listen to her. Maybe I'll ask. And then I was just like, should I debate this guy and just try to point out all the obvious errors that he's making? And I was like, no, that doesn't sound appealing to me at all. That doesn't sound like a productive use of time.
But here's the thing, Ryan. That person would have listened and had
Yeah.
a somewhat um, okay conversation with you simply because you're a man. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
for sure. For sure. And that's why, I mean, at least if I asked the exact same question Brandy asked, it would kind of be like, what do you mean? What does that
Yeah.
mean? What you just said? It's over my head.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have the humility to be able to do that. But it became very clear to me early on that, like, okay, that is not a route I'm going to go at all. Even though 20 years ago I used to love it. Like when I was in the throes of graduate school, I was studying this stuff with some really smart people, and I would have been a great debate bro. I would have come out and just like even now these guys they don't know what they're talking about. They're just brash and confident, arrogant, and
Arrogant's a
hateful.
good word. Yeah.
TikTok.
Hateful, I think more than anything
Yep.
is the most important. They are full of hate. So in case you're curious, the number one reason people gave for why they stopped going to church was they feel that Christians are hateful and judgmental. That's the number one reason. And it wasn't even close. So that was evidence to me, like, well, if we start a church, that will be the core. It will be a loving and kind space, church, like whatever it is. If that's the number one reason people left, if the number 4 reason people left is financial concerns, we have addressed that. That's not a hurdle we'll have to figure out in this church. When it comes to number 1, the number 1 reason, that's where our commitment is. We'll try to always be loving and kind and respectful. And we've had, Street can tell you, we've had atheists come through, we've had Catholic folks come through, and some, all sorts of different people. And we have always treated them respectfully. Is that fair to say, Streak?
Very fair.
So we will lead with love. That will never change. And I think if I go down that road of, I'm going to shred this whoever in this debate, or the point they just made is easy to poke holes in, I'm going to go do it. Like that's not the goal.
You're not going to shred anybody in debate because we're all in constituents, I guess, with each other.
I agree. And I think that it doesn't get anybody anywhere. And I think if we're being honest, like I am not the best debate, like Christian, you don't like the word apologist or whatever, Christian debater. I'm not world renowned at that. Like if you want to go listen to someone, listen to Bill Craig. Like William Lane Craig is the top Christian apologist going right now. And if you want to listen to Alex O'Connor or what used to be Christopher Hitchens or some atheist that makes that.
But listen, Ryan, there are some
Go
people.
listen to them.
There are some people that are religious debaters that say some of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Right?
Yeah.
And I listen to them and I go, where Like, tell me where in the Bible, where in the hell in that Bible did you see that? I, I, I'm not going to tell you her name because I don't want to do that. But there's a woman on here, and her whole panel is a bunch of Christians with her. She claims to be a pastor. That's very questionable. Um, and I went up there one night to talk to them, and I was seriously talking to them because I wanted to know where they got their ideas and why they had the ideas they had about abortion, right? And they were all very pro-life, of course. And they told me that when the sperm meets the egg, there's this wonderful explosion and a blast of light that happens in the uterus. And I'm like, wait, what? What? What are you saying? What? Like, it's just
Sounds like a party.
craziness. It's just craziness.
Does she have a lot of? Does she have a lot of people that listen to her?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think most of the people that go in there are down in the chat telling her how crazy she is. Um, and I I don't go in there anymore
Do you
because
see my?
it was just too Looney Tunes for me.
But do you see my like dilemma when I hear something like that? I'm like, do we go? Do we engage with that? Is there any point in me going in and talking with her and just trying to be kind? Because to me, I feel like just
So I think that they would tolerate you up on the panel longer than they tolerated me. Um, and
we got that patriarchy still running strong, don't we?
yeah, absolutely. But I don't
What
know
a shame.
if, I mean, you might be able to get through to them because they are Christians also. Um, I just don't know, Ryan. I don't, I wish I had an answer for you to that one.
Yeah, I think just stay the course. Try to love people, and that will be significant enough. It
Yeah.
always has been. That's what.
That is exactly what you should be doing as a Christian. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, he is. It's not me. This is what Jesus said. I'm just trying to follow him. He said, "This is the command that I would give you: love one another, love
Yep.
God,
Right,
love
but
one another."
many people manipulate your belief, and I
Yeah.
Oh
think
yeah.
you're in the right direction. And I do not find many of you.
I appreciate the encouragement. I really do. It's like I said. It's been a long year doing this. It's been a year that overlapped with a lot of grief. So it's a big. It's a. This has been an important thing to me for a number of different reasons, and I appreciate your questions so much because all of those things I have given a lot of thought because I tried to take in these considerations and hopefully avoid all of them.
Well, please push forward. I think you're doing the right thing.
I thank you, Chris.
'Cause I honestly, I go through many Christian discussions, and I'll have a nice discussion, like just this evening, with a very nice old gentleman. He kept talking about, well, I need to, you know, believe in Jesus and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. You're not being disrespectful about it. And then I got this crazy lady on. She's like, well, in the Bible, this says this, and then I retracted, and it's just like, well, no, that contradicts blah, blah, blah. And, trying to have a civil conversation, and I was viewed as the devil and removed, and it's just like I was just having a great conversation with a person of your same religion, and now I'm the devil and you have to remove me. Yeah, just weird stuff. I don't understand how mainstream Christians deal with life with somebody questioning them. Man, I'm so glad I met you. I don't
Yeah, and
want
if
to
you question,
kiss your ass
you're the
anymore,
devil.
but
I'm glad you came in. Thanks for stopping in. It's been
uh,
it's been a good night. I'm glad we did this. I mentioned at the beginning that we almost didn't do it tonight because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. But I was like, no, I made a commitment to do this every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. And so I'm trying to stick to that in both
nice.
areas. I don't want to do more and I don't want to do less. So try to be
All
here each
right.
Wednesday. I think
So
Christmas may be on a Wednesday this
I
year. I
followed
won't do
you.
that.
So if you put out a spread join, I will be seeing you next Wednesday.
That sounds good. I appreciate it, Junior. Chris, thank you.
All right, man. It was a good
Take
time
care.
talking to you, sir. Take care.
Likewise. Take care. Did I lose you, Streak? Did I lose Streak? Sorry.